hope wherever you are watching this video, you're having a nice day. I don't know when you'll ever watch this video or who you are. It'll be nice if you drop me a message in a comment below so that I know you've watched it. And feel free to share what's coming to you as you watch this video, because what I'm about to share is something really personal to me and for me, as well as my family. Yeah, I hope it helps you in some way. And okay, let me just get straight into it. So after some thinking and feeling and self-reflection, we've decided, we meaning my husband and myself, and mostly myself because it's my body, but it's important that my husband's on board as well because it's our relationship and our family. So therefore, it is a joint decision that we're not going to proceed with IVF anymore. Yeah. And as I say that, I feel a sense of relief. Of course, there's a part of me that goes, oh, aren't you gonna try anymore? Like, why are you giving up? You've got to be in it to win it and all that stuff, which are all true, but how do I say this? I guess I don't expect anyone to fully understand how it feels to be me, to be us, and why we decide what we've decided to do or not do, or how we've decided to proceed. But yeah, that's the decision. And if I were to try and explain, let me see what I can try and explain this, how best I can explain this. It would be, well, we have gone through 4 rounds of embryo transfers, half a round that didn't lead to a transfer, but it was a prep. Long story short, that 5th round wasn't meant to happen. So therefore, we had in total 4 rounds of transfers. And in the beginning, there was 1 round of egg retrieval. And, you know, after having 7 frozen embryos being thawed, and of them, 6 of them survived the thaw and were used across the cycles. That's 1 year of trying IVF. That's 1 year through COVID, through life in general. And I know for a fact that I really focused on the IVF and made it my top 1, if not second, top priority for the year. I did everything I could, like ate healthy, exercised, meditated, stayed positive, and all that stuff. I'm sure there's more I could have done, and there'll always be more. But given the time and energy I had and the choices that I made, I did give it my all. And obviously, for me, when the 7th embryo didn't become successful, it meant that we had to start all over again, or rather start a new round of the whole IVF cycle again. And when that happened a few months ago, instinctively I was like, yep, no doubt I'm gonna let my body rest, and then, you know, in a few months' time, I'm gonna find a new IVF doctor and get back on the horse. Especially since, you know, my first IVF specialist reminded me that I've got so many eggs, so therefore, you know, I just need to keep trying, and that was her advice to me, which I took seriously. And I still take it seriously, but I realize that that's just her perspective from a medical point of view, which is valid. But I guess after taking a break, and now that my break is almost over, and I've already picked the new IVF specialist I'm gonna see, I realize that I've been procrastinating making the appointment. And long story short, I realized that I'm not looking forward to this next round of IVF the same way as I did for the first round of IVF. And I guess part of me goes like, oh, are you giving up now? Are you sure? Blah, 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 blah. What if you regret and all that? Then I realized maybe it's time to be honest with myself and ask myself why am I putting myself through this? And I thank my husband for having these conversations with me, because he asked me as well. He asked me like, what do you want? And whatever that you want, do they involve having kids? Why? You know, why? You know, and I thought about it, and I realized that I would love the experience of being a mom and having kids and watching them grow up. At the same time, I can also enjoy life as we have it now. You know, my husband, myself, our adorable puppy, who is essentially our child, and he is growing up in front of our eyes. And with him, I do feel like a mom. And then that's when I think, do I want more? Or is this the motherhood that's enough for me, at least right now? And in the future, do I want even more responsibilities than this, you know? Dealing with changing diapers, sleepless nights, and all that, you know, school and all those decisions. I think it came to a point where I realized that actually at the stage where I am in life right now, I think I'm good. I'm happy with the amount of responsibilities that I have. And I feel like the kind thing to do for myself is to not have a kid or kids. Now, if I realize suddenly tomorrow that I'm pregnant, not via IVF, then maybe I'll find a way to justify whatever my decisions may be by then. But I guess right now it's become really clear for me that going through another round of IVF doesn't feel like something that I'm looking forward to right now. And so at this moment, I'm happy to stay the way we are and grow in the way that we are now as a family, without spending time and energy on IVF. If you ask me, then why did I go through IVF then and why won't I go through it again? I've thought about that too. And that's because back then I felt like I hadn't even tried. I hadn't then given my best and my all to trying to start a family. And so I thought, I want to at least give it a try. And if it does turn into, a situation where we have a baby, whether it's naturally or through IVF, then that's the gift, right? And then now, after the whole IVF process, I'm like, you know what? I've given it a really good shot. It's multiple rounds of embryo transfer. We had 7 frozen embryos. I could carry on trying, or I could just say, you know what? I've tried and I'm not going to do that again. And we'll still try naturally. And if a baby or 2 comes along naturally, against all odds, given my PCOS and past conditions, then okay, that's a gift that I'm willing to accept, because against all odds, a miracle happened. And if and when a miracle happens, I will do my best to honor that miracle. But until then, am I going to do this IVF thing again? No, because I've done it before. I know what the experience is, and I don't want to go through it again. And if it means that we end up not having children of our own in this lifetime from this relationship, that's okay. That's okay, because if we want to, we can still find other ways around having kids, right? Like adoption, or you know what? Maybe just looking after someone else's kids without having a label of being a parent. That's also okay, because those are options as well, right? So what I'm realizing is there are many different options, and every option has its pros and cons. But what's most important is that this is my life, my body, my relationship with my husband, our life together, and whatever decisions we make need to be fulfilled by our individual needs as well as our needs as a couple. So where we stand today is, here we are. We've tried IVF and we've decided not to try it anymore, and then we'll see what happens. And I've spoken to my gynecologist about this, and there is a risk that now that I'm off, the hormone meds and stuff, then what happens to my hyperplasia? Like, would it come back and all that stuff? So that's another chapter. There are ways around it, because one thing we could immediately do is go for a hysterectomy. Another thing we can do is put me on medication so I don't have to have a hysterectomy immediately. So many paths to take moving forward. So that's all I'll share today. And if you've got any questions, as I'm sure you might, feel free to drop it in the comments below. I may not answer them as soon as immediately. So please bear with me. I thank you for your patience. But I promise I will get round to answering them at some point in time. So I look forward to hearing from you. And thank you as usual for all your kind wishes and being there for me. We may not have met yet in person, and we may or may not in the future, who knows? But it's really nice to connect with you this way. I'm sending you lots of love. Bye.